mission of Brazosport ISD is to graduate each student to be future ready. Please stand for invocation to be led by Mr. Dunn and our pledges of allegiance led by Mr. Schulte.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, just thank you for a beautiful day. Father, thank you for the rain last night. And Lord, thank you for the men and women that worked so hard to get our power going back. Just pray that you bless them. And Father, we just thank you that we can be here tonight for our visitors, each family that's represented here tonight. Just pray a blessing on them. Father, we're just thankful that we get to recognize the great things that our students and staff are accomplishing. Father, may the things that are said and done here tonight just be to your honor and your glory. We just we say in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. This time I'll ask the board to start moving down far enough to the front for our recognitions.
Good evening. Ms. Pearson, Principal Pearson, I'd ask that you please come stand next to Mr. Massey, please. It is with great honor that I recognize Ms. Pearson of TWOG as the Elementary Principal of the Year. Ms. Pearson is a proud BISD graduate and has dedicated over a decade to shaping young minds and driving academic excellence. Since stepping into the role at TWOG in the 2022-2023 school year, she has transformed the campus with her innovative strategies and student-centered approach. Known for fostering a culture of collaboration and lifelong learning, Ms. Pearson ensures every child receives the support they need to thrive. Before leading TWOG, she taught at Clute Intermediate, served as an assistant principal there, and later took the role of Dean of Instruction at Grady Rasco Middle School. Her passion for education and commitment to student success continue to leave a lasting impact on the BISD community. Once again, congratulations, Ms. Pearson, Elementary District Principal of the Year.
And also, I'd like to ask Principal Cheryl Roberts to please join Mr. Massey at the front. It is my pleasure to recognize Ms. Cheryl Roberts as our Secondary Principal of the Year. Cheryl is a passionate advocate for student success. She has dedicated her career to shaping the future of education at Lake Jackson Intermediate School. Cheryl has served as LJI principal since 2023 and has empowered both students and teachers to reach their full potential. She is committed to excellence, forward-thinking, and living out our vision of setting the standard for educational excellence. Her continued focus on building relationships within the community have made her a standout leader in BISD. With more than 20 years in public education, Principal Roberts began her journey in education at Bess Brannon Elementary as a teacher, followed by roles as a campus assessment specialist, district coordinator of assessment and accountability, and then an assistant principal at Brazosport High School. In 2014, she advanced to associate principal at Brazosport. Driven by an unwavering commitment to education and a strong focus on empowering students, Principal Roberts continues to shape the future of BISD in a meaningful and lasting way. Congratulations, Principal Roberts, Secondary Principal of the Year.
here to present our Spotlight Educator Award. The purpose of the BISD Educator Spotlight Award is to recognize outstanding teachers across our district. These are teachers who go above and beyond for not only students, but their coworkers as well. When I call your name, if you could come stand next to Mr. Massey. This month's Spotlight Educators for secondary is Michelle Hubble from Freeport, Illinois. And for elementary is Jennifer Nicholas from O.M. Roberts Elementary. Mrs. Hubble is an 8th grade math and algebra 1 teacher at Freeport Intermediate. She's described as being a dedicated and tireless advocate for her students, staff, and the campus. As a math teacher, she goes above and beyond, arriving early and staying late to deliver effective lessons and offer extra tutorials. She also supports the campus by preparing the weekly intervention draft, working all home games, and sponsoring NJHS and coaching athletics. Additionally, she serves as a team lead and mentor, guiding fellow teachers with care. Parents have shared their appreciation for her commitment to providing rigor for her students, and so they can excel. Mrs. Hubble's impact is invaluable, and the campus would not be the same without her. Thank you. Mrs. Jennifer Nicholas, stream teacher from O.M. Roberts Elementary, demonstrates exceptional dedication to student learning by creating a dynamic classroom environment that blends reading, math, art, science, and fun. She collaborates with grade-level teachers to align stream lab lessons with current needs, reinforcing classroom skills through engaging hands-on activities using Legos, bridge building, and science experiments. Her creative approach makes complex topics accessible and exciting, sparking curiosity and highlighting real-world applications. With a passion for science, she integrates skills students will need in 5th grade, preparing them for future success. Mrs. Nicholas inspires students to explore careers in stream fields and fosters a lifelong love of learning. She's a true Roberts rocket. Thank you both.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Coach Zeller. It's always an exciting time to get to make it to the podium. That means we've had some state-level qualifiers or programs make the state level, and tonight we have 3 programs that we're going to celebrate. So good evening, Board of Trustees, Mr. Massey, and our BISD community. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize and celebrate another outstanding group of athletes and their coaches. A special thank you to the parents and the fans for their support and energy as these student athletes competed throughout the year, culminating at their respective UIL state championships. We're going to start this evening with the Brazosport Exporter Swim Program. Head coach Adam Collins and then assistant coach Beatrice Owens was unable to be here. The Exporter Swimming Program has done it once again, marking its 3rd trip just in my time in the district to this very meeting to be recognized for its state championship meet recognitions. Joining us this evening for her 3rd time in a row, junior Sophie Stowers, returning to the podium this year again after earning 2 medals in the 2023 and in 2024. Sophie once again competed in a highly competitive pool of athletes She is the 2025 UIL 4A Region 3 champion in the 100-yard backstroke. She qualified for her third trip to the UIL State Championships, where she finished 5th in the state in the 100-yard backstroke. In just 3 years of high school competition, Sophie has accumulated an impressive list of accomplishments. And here are a few. She's a 3-time district and region champion in the 100-yard backstroke, a 3-time state qualifier, a Brazosport High School record holder in the 100 backstroke, the 100 butterfly, and the 500 freestyle. She's a 2025 TISCA, which is the Swim Association Academic All-State recipient, and she is currently ranked #1 in her 2026 Brazosport High School graduating class. So, outstanding set of accomplishments so far, and we still have senior year to go. We're looking forward to a great senior year. Sophie Stowers and Coach Adam Collins.
Thank you.
Or Liz, either one. Yeah.
Act like you know her.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. Another 2, 3.
Okay, the next group that we will be recognizing this evening is our Brazoswood State Qualifying Powerlifters. The Brazoswood High School powerlifting team is coached by head coach Kirby Ennis and assistant coach Emily Robison. This group put in a tremendous amount of work in the weight room to prepare for their powerlifting competitions. Powerlifting is scored by the combined total of 3 lifts. The bench press, the squat, and the deadlift. The following athletes qualified for the state meet in Abilene just this past weekend. Junior Ethan Garza. Ethan finished top 10 in the 165-pound weight class at the regional meet with a total lift of 1,300 pounds. That is the automatic state qualifying total. He was able to get a personal best of 500 pounds on the squat and 330 pounds on the bench. He lifted 470 pounds on the deadlift. Ethan gained valuable experience at the state meet and will no doubt continue to work and be back for his senior season. Congratulations, Ethan. Junior Michael Cifuentes. Michael finished tied for 3rd place in the 181-pound weight class at the regional meet, with a total lift of 1,450 pounds. He lifted his personal best of 335 pounds on the bench. He lifted 540 pounds on the squat and 575 pounds on the deadlift. Michael battled at the state meet, finishing the meet as the 24th place lifter in the 181-pound weight class across the state. Congratulations, Michael. And then joining Michael, I recognize assistant coach Emily Robison and head coach Kirby Ennis. Okay, and our final group for the evening is our largest group, and almost always is on our individual sports. Our Brazosport wrestling team. Our wrestlers are among the largest group to recognize this evening, led by the coaches, head coach Curtis Roberts and Frank Soto. This group of athletes grappled their way through the competition in, I put 24-6A, but that is not right. 12-6A. Everybody else is 24-6A. Again, in the Region 6 championships, and again in the Region 6 championships. These accomplishments earned the following wrestlers a trip to the UIL 6A State Wrestling Championships at the Berry Center in Cy-Fair ISD in February. So now we will recognize each of these qualifiers. First, senior Karen Kime. Karen was the Region 3 runner-up in the 165-pound weight class, which qualified her for the UIL State Championships. Karen ended her high school wrestling career as a 6A UIL 6th place finisher in her weight class. She is a 3-time state qualifier with a total of 107 career wins. Karen is the first Brazosport Lady Buck to break 100 wins. Congratulations. Senior Lupita Gonzalez. Lupita earned her trip to the UIL State Championships by finishing 4th at the Region 3 Championships. Lupita battled the best of the best in the 152-pound weight class in the state championships. She became the second Lady Buck to surpass 100 career wins, finishing with a total of 103 career victories. Congratulations, Lupita. Senior Michael Villarreal. Michael was the 12-6A heavyweight wrestler of the year. He fought his way through the Region 3 championship bracket, earning the title of Region 3 runner-up and UIL state qualifier. Michael completes his high school career with a Brazosport high school record of 108 career pins. Congratulations, Michael. Senior Aaron Reyna. Aaron was the 12-6A lightweight wrestler of the year. He fought his way through the Region 3 championship bracket in the 113-pound weight class, earning the title of Region 3 runner-up and UIL state qualifier. He competed strongly at the state championships and earned the distinction of the state's 5th place wrestler. Aaron completed his high school career with 165 wins and earned a total of 913 team points for the Bucks. Congratulations, Aaron. And then tonight we want to recognize Senior Aurelio Ibarra and Junior Laney McDougall. They also finished with strong 2025 seasons. Each of these athletes qualified for the regional championships and ultimately earned a spot as a state alternate after their regional competition. Congratulations, Aurelio and Laney, on your outstanding achievements and your successes to get to that level. Coach Frank Soto, Assistant Coach of the Year. Coach Curtis Roberts, Head Coach of the Year.
Great work, Coach. Thank you. Thank you.
I struggle with it. You're good right there. Wherever you want to be.
Y'all won enough, y'all take pictures before.
Y'all really stand like you want to.
Right here. Teresa straight, yes, good. 1, 2, 3, and another 1, 2, 3. And anybody else, please feel free. Keep smiling.
recognitions for tonight. Yes. At this time, in accordance with BED local, the board will provide an audience with individuals who have signed up prior to the meeting to address the board. Tonight, we have one request, to speak to the board on an item that is not on our agenda. Mr. Dunn will be the time limit keeper. We'll have no more than, have 5 minutes, as we move forward. Mr. Tidwell.
Be real brief. Just have a question. No, you can't answer it tonight, but if somebody can get back to us, we'd like to know that. If the comparability rating is no longer a concern, then why are more staffing cuts being made? We understand about the 6th grade, but we don't understand about other staffing. So we'd like to know more about that. Thank you.
All right. The next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any items requested to be pulled from the consent agenda? At this time, we'll allow public comment from individuals that have signed up prior to the meeting about the pool. Okay. Everybody will have that part. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Not second.
Got a motion by Mr. Dunn, second by Ms. Cuellar. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, under action items. Our first item is, waive tuition fee for non-resident transfer students for the 2025-2026 school year. Mr. Whitehead.
Thank you. Good evening. In accordance with Board Policy FDA Local, it is my pleasure to present the recommendation to waive tuition fees for non-resident transfer students for the 25-26 school year. Sections 25036 and 25038 of the Texas Education Code and Board Policy FDA provide guidelines for non-resident transfer students. Section 25.036 states, any child may transfer annually from a child's school district of residence to another district in the state if both the receiving district and the applicant jointly approve and timely agree in writing to the transfer. And I did add a second bullet that the current practice currently taking place is that districts always agree to send but may not agree to receive. Additionally, Section 41.124 of the Code further states that the Board of Trustees of a school district with a wealth per student that exceeds the equalized wealth level may reduce the district's wealth per student by serving non-resident students who transfer to the district and are educated by the district but who are not charged tuition. And that's the reason why we do request that you waive the tuition fee. So a little bit about our conditions of acceptance for non-resident transfers. Non-resident transfer students must apply annually and meet the condition of acceptance into BISD. Those provisions are attendance, meets the 90% threshold, attitude and behavior, parent cooperation, and students must participate in all state and local testing. All approved transfers are typically good for 1 school year, and a renewal application must be submitted annually. However, if the criteria are not maintained, the campus principal may recommend the transfer be revoked at semester. Currently, the totals for the 2025-26 24-25 school year, and they do change throughout the year, are at 253 out-of-district transfers, which is down approximately 8% and is reflective of our enrollment trends of all students in the district. We have denied 16 out-of-district transfers based on program capacity. One example would be life skills classrooms, or pending discipline or attendance issues. Here you can see in the left-hand column where students transfer from. The majority of our students transfer in from Angleton and Columbia, Brazoria, followed by Sweeney and Danbury. On the right, you can see that we have students who transfer out of the district as well, and where they are attending. Note the column on the right is from 23-24, since it is a TEA lagging data indicator, and the left-hand column is current data, 24-25. So it's a little bit apples to bananas, sorry. There are some online programs that are based in districts throughout Texas, so anyone participating in those programs, as noted in the bottom right, show transfers to the district associated with that online program. So just a little additional information so that you can see how our campuses stack up. In our Lake Jackson feeder pattern, pre-K through 8, you can see that Boydell has 31 transfers. Brannon has limited approval of transfers because they are full. They do have some continuers or some students who are grandfathered in. Roberts has 11, Rasco 20, LJI 15. So in that feeder pattern, there are 91 of our 253 counted students. Moving to the Richwood pre-K through 8 feeder pattern, Griffith has 16, CIS has 19, a total of 68 students in our Richwood feeder pattern. Oh, sorry, I failed to mention across the top, you can see where those students are coming from. CBISD, Angleton, Sweeney, Alvin. We do have a few heres and theres from other districts. Sometimes that's associated with a parent who works for the district. Moving on to Brazosport High School, we currently have 68 out-of-district transfers, 32 from Angleton, 25 Columbia, Brazoria, and then a few others from similar districts you've seen on the charts. Moving into the Freeport pre-K through 8 feeder pattern, as you can see there, we have a total of 9 students transferred in. It is a little further in travel as what we conclude here. To get to Freeport, you have to pass through Lake Jackson a lot of times, so we do have quite a few less, as well as the total enrollment in Freeport as well. So 9 total there, pre-K through 8, and then moving to finally Brazosport High School, we have 12 total out-of-district transfers, 5 from Angleton, 3 from Columbia, Brazoria, and 2 from Sweeney. Also included in this BSA, we have 5 student transfers in our BSA program. And then the bottom chart there kind of gives you just a little snapshot of the special programs that the students we have transfer in, just additional data there. You can see at-risk 80, GT 41, we have a good representation in our GT, SPED 30. So just a little additional information of special programs that of our 253 students, 242 of those students did meet one of the criteria for identification. A little extra, there is a current bill. There's a lot of language about parent choice, and Senate Bill 12 does include a provision. It's not yet approved, but it is outlined in Senate Bill 12. There's a provision for out-of-district transfers. This bill does share the common criteria that pretty much everyone already uses. So parents do, if this bill were to pass, parents would have the option of sending their student to any school in the state as a transfer student, but the criteria outlined in this bill does say that unless it is full, the child has a history of criminal behavior or discipline problems, That wouldn't really change anything for us because we do this already. It might change something for a district that does not allow any out-of-district transfer. So really no change to our current practice. With that being said, at this time, the administration recommends that the board waive tuition fees for non-resident students for the 25-26 school year, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does that Senate bill, does it waive fees automatically? Is there any wording in it?
I didn't see anything regarding waiving the fees.
You
No,
know,
they may not have addressed it in the bill. I didn't see it in the bill.
Yeah, I believe, my understanding, it's written to not be able to allow districts to charge. Yeah, which again, wouldn't change our practice
Yeah.
already,
We
yeah.
just wouldn't have this action item.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any questions from the audience? All right, no questions. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes.
Mr. Schulte, you have a motion, do I have a second? Second from Mr. Dunn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We had no items pulled from the consent agenda, so we'll move into our reports. First report, teacher incentive allotment update. Mrs. Neighbors, our Chief Human Resources Officer.
All right. We have an update for our teacher incentive allotment. We received, approval for our new data set, our second round in February.
Jay broke it.
It's working now. Thanks a lot. As you know, TIA was developed by TEA with the intention of creating a pathway to a larger salary for teachers so they can begin earning six figures. There's 3 levels of designations eligible for teachers to earn. That's recognized, exemplary, and master. TEA funds this additional revenue, so when a teacher earns a designation, they're being paid by TEA. Our designated teachers will earn anywhere from an additional $4,000 to over $20,000, and we're proud to be one of the first districts in our surrounding area to be fully approved and have already had one successful payout this past August. Allotments are based on teacher designation level, the campus's economic level, and campus rural status. Our goal is to be as inclusive as possible. All teachers have the ability to go through the process of earning their national board certification. They're reimbursed for the cost of obtaining this certification, and once received, they'll always hold a recognized designation status and earn the recognized level pay. Our district's local plan, we measure for designations by including our teacher evaluation system at 30%. Our classroom student growth is 60%, and then teacher attendance is 10%. The top 30% of eligible teachers will be designated. This 30% has the ability to flex based on hard cut scores, so we can go a little lower or a little higher. The 23-24 submission included K-12 reading teachers, 1st through 8th grade math, Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 teachers, geometry. All of these subjects include special education teachers and intervention teachers. And then this data submission included 5th through 8th grade science and biology. We're continuing to look for areas to expand. We're currently piloting a social studies screener, and we're now looking at how to use the unique learning system as a student growth measure for life skills teachers. This program was approved by TEA for TIA use, and our district already utilizes it. As you know, our plan and data was fully approved in February of 2024. This is our 3rd year of this process. and our designated teachers receive their first payouts in August of 2024. This is a cycling process, and in October of 2024, we submitted our data with the proposed designations based on data from the 23-24 school year. The data was analyzed and approved last month, and we are now preparing to communicate with our new and existing designated teachers, and they will be finding out tomorrow. So, the teacher incentive allotment finance breakdown, 90% of our 90% of a teacher's funds that they generate goes directly to the teacher. 10% goes to the district, and that helps us pay for professional development, anything to do with our appraisal or evaluation system, any kind of system we use for tracking appraisers, TIA support, our TIA lead, high, and assessment that we might use that can help pay for screeners. Last year, we anticipated to generate $1.2 million and generated almost $1.4 million in TIA funds. This year, with new designations, existing designations, and teachers that came to the district designated, we're anticipated to generate approximately $1.9 million in TIA funds, with $1.7 million going directly to designated teachers in August of 2025. Just a quick overview of how our data is viewed and what it's compared to. When we send it in, it goes to Tech for verification, and they look at 4 domains. Domain 1 is teacher observation in relation to student growth. Our observation scores and student growth align. Domain B, student growth in comparison to screener history. Domain C, this looks at our evaluations, our evaluations consistent across campus and district. And Domain D, this compares our designated teachers to STAR performance for the district. Just a little overview of TIA by the numbers. We've been participating for 3 years now. 187 designated teachers will generate TIA funds as of this spring. We've distributed about $1.3 million to teachers directly, and our anticipated allotment this year is almost $1.9 million. We will have our actual amounts in late April again, and then last year it came in a little bit higher, and so we're hoping for that this year as well. So, to talk a little more about our teacher designations, this year we have 453 teachers eligible to earn a TIA designation. We had 22, the top 30% is made up of 139 teachers who earned designations, so we submitted their data. So 22 of our existing teachers with designations earned a higher designation, so they might have gone from recommended or recognized to master level, so their payout will be larger this year, and then their 5 years start. So if it'll be go from recognized, this year it'll say master, and then they'll get that payout for 5 years. We have 58 newly designated teachers, and then we have 59 teachers who are already designated, either come up with the same designation or it could have been lower, but they were still in that top 30% of our data set. We had 48 previously designated teachers, or they had earned their national board certification, and that 48 also includes any teachers that were new to the district that came to us already designated, and we have had 2 or 3 hires that came to us with designations. We are seeing an increase in our secondary teachers earning designations, especially with the inclusion of science and biology this year. 11 of our new designations actually make up science and biology teachers. And so out of the 187 designations, 150 are elementary and 37 are secondary. We see a higher concentration at elementary. We've just had we had more elementary teachers that are eligible. And what happened?
There we go.
just looking at the existing designated teachers by campus. It will also show you new and higher designated teachers by campus. And so the top chart has the 133 designations from last year. The bottom chart has the 80, which includes the 22 higher and 58 new. And this represents our 187 designated teachers as of this spring and what campus that they belong to. We use student growth measures. This makes up 60% of our TIA scores, and you can see that out of all of our eligible teachers, 22-23 data set, 61% of our students, it's the way this one comes up. All eligible teachers this data submission year showed a gain in average students growth from 61% to 66% of students growing to or past their target. For our designated teachers, an average of 82% of students are meeting or exceeding their growth target. So you can see the difference. Our top 30% is significantly higher than all eligible teachers. And then we also actually saw a gain in our student growth scores in our non-designated teachers. So they showed a 6% gain. So we're starting to see growth across the board. For our teacher evaluation component, this is from our 2024 summative ratings. T-TEST is our state-approved and created teacher evaluation system. The ISD data reflects that designated teachers have higher evaluation scores, which align with higher student growth averages as shown on the previous slide. So, we are getting ready to send out emails tomorrow. Our teachers will learn what their designation rating is, and then our campus administrators will learn who all of their current and new designations are. TEA will notify DISD of specific TIA allotments in late April. We are planning a celebration for our designated teachers, and we've actually asked for some feedback from our campus administrators, because without necessarily giving out their designation, we would like for them to be able to display and be proud of earning that designation. That's pretty awesome. And then we will, official TEA emails will go out to designated teachers detailing their earned designations, and then we will get ready to disperse allotments in August. Some important dates for 24-25. This is going to be a cycle every year. We're working on finalizing the current end-of-year data sets and summatives. We'll be prepping for the next data capture submission, which will be the 24-25 data, and it will be submitted to Texas Tech in October of 25, and then we'll be doing this again next spring, March, getting ready for our next set of payouts. And that's it. So do y'all have any questions?
Good stuff.
Yes, we are very excited. We have teachers that are very anxious to learn if they are designated or not, and I just want to thank Cinnamon. She does an amazing job with our TIA data and communicating with our teachers, so.
Coach Schulte and I were wondering if this is retroactive.
Yeah.
You want to come out of retirement?
No.
No, I do want to appreciate Ms. Neighbors and Ms. Hyde's work on this. It is a lot of work. As she mentioned, we are one of the, we're the only neighbor district in our area that took on this teacher incentive allotment, and it is a lot of extra money for our teachers. And the reason why other districts didn't do it is because it is a lot of work. When you have to have calibrations aligned to teacher evaluations, have to be aligned to the student outcomes. Not everybody just gets a high evaluation. It's based on how well your students are learning. And so, again, I just want to say thank you for all of your work. Our district has been out ahead on this. And I know we have 3 or 4 teachers at Lanier that are making $22,000 additional compensation that's funded by the state, not us. So, yeah, it's really, it really is a game changer for our staff. So thank you.
Anybody in the audience have a question? Okay. We'll move on to the next item, bond planning and construction update. Planning update from Rudy Casino, our chief financial officer. Come on down.
Thank you. Good evening. Tonight, I'll be giving you an update on the current 2025 budget, along with a preview of the 2026 budget development. I'll also give a brief overview of the legislative changes pertaining to school finance. This is part of our ongoing effort to ensure that we maintain fiscal responsibility. In alignment with the district goals that Brazosport ISD will exercise fiscal responsibility to ensure financial strength and secure the resources needed to equip and maintain quality facilities and educational programming. As we review the 2025 budget, I want to highlight some key figures and trends. The 2025 budget was adopted with an $11.7 million deficit. We had originally budgeted Chapter 313 revenues at $6 million, but the actual payment will be around $12.5 million, which is above expectations. The budget projected ADA at 10,086, but we're currently at around 10,016, just slightly below the target. Our special education mainstream ADA is also a bit lower than expected, but other special education services are performing better than anticipated, bringing in an additional $1 million. For state comp, we had budgeted for 7,601, but the actual count is only 6,287, resulting in a $2 million shortfall. We expect to end the year with a fund balance of $38.2 million, which is $77,000 above our target of $38.1 million. So while we have seen some shortfalls in ADA and state comp, the budget is still performing better than expected, with a projected deficit of $5.6 million. That's actually $6.1 million better than we had originally anticipated. The 89th legislative session is in full swing, and Senate Bill 2 includes several provisions that will have an impact on school finance. I want to highlight 3 key provisions. The first provision is an increase in the basic allotment. The basic allotment would go up from $6,160 to $6,380, which is expected to bring in about $2.2 million in additional funding. The second provision is additional state aid for regional insurance costs. The bill introduces a new state aid of $55 per ADA for districts in regions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that own and lease property. This is projected to bring in around $550,000. Lastly, an adjustment to the special education allotment. This provision would change how special education funding is allocated, moving to an intensity of services model. Districts would also receive $1,000 for each special education evaluation conducted. The expected increase in funding from this change is about $500,000. I've also included a list of the finance provision included in Senate Bill 2 in the link above. There are more provisions filed. These are just the 3 that were easy to calculate, as we're still very early on in the legislative session. This table shows the projected revenues under the 2 scenarios, comparing the current law, and that would be the first column with the basic allotment at $6,160, and the second scenario is the changes proposed in Senate Bill 2 with the basic allotment of $6,380. Under the current law, the basic allotment is $6,160, and total available revenues are projected to be $118 million. This represents the revenue we're expecting under the existing funding structure without the changes in the bill. With Senate Bill 2, the basic allotment increases to $6,380, which would bring total available revenue up to $121.3 million. This change reflects a $220 increase in the basic allotment, adding about $3.3 million in revenue. As a result, the projected deficit would decrease from $12.6 million to $9.3 million, cutting the deficit by $3.3 million. Again, this is a very preliminary estimate. We still need more information like property value estimates and other key data to finalize the numbers. Also, this estimate does not account for all the provisions in Senate Bill 2, which could further affect revenue and funding. Before we dive into the cost reduction considerations for the 26 budget, let's review the expenditures for the current fiscal year. The adopted budget for this year totals $130.6 million in expenditures. Out of that, 86% is spent on salaries, which shows the district's strong focus on staff compensation. The next largest expense is contracted services, which mainly covers things like utility payments. Together, these two categories make up the bulk of our spending, and they really highlight the significant cost involved in maintaining our staff and essential services. Now we'll take a look at some of the items that we're considering for budget reductions. And the first item is a change in fiscal year. One potential way to reduce expenses for the next fiscal year is by changing the start date of our fiscal year. Right now, the school districts have the option to start their fiscal year either July 1st or September 1st. For Brazosport ISD, the fiscal year starts September 1st. If we shift our fiscal year to July 1st, we could save about $5 million by eliminating 2 months of operating expenses. This would only provide a one-time savings, as it's a benefit that would apply just in the first year of the change. Even though this is a one-time boost, it would help prevent the district from dipping further into fund balance next year. Here are the pros and cons of changing the start date of our fiscal year to July 1st. The pros include a one-time increase in our fund balance, since we would be operating for only 10 months instead of 12 months. Also, campuses would be able to start purchasing materials and supplies earlier instead of waiting until September 1st for the new budget. Another benefit is that it would align us with other government agencies, since federal grants operate on a July 1st start date. The cons include an accelerated budget adoption timeline, meaning we'd have to adopt the budget by June 30th instead of waiting until August. Also, the business office would need to adjust their plannings, and certified property value estimates don't come in until July, after the budget is usually adopted. This could make it challenging to finalize budget projections. However, the district could amend the budget before the Peen's Fall submission deadline, and the budget submitted to Texas Education Agency becomes the district official budget. This table shows a timeline for the proposed change to our fiscal year. The shift would start with the 2026-27 fiscal year beginning in July 2026. For the 25-26 fiscal year, we'd operate on a modified schedule, running from September 1st to June 30th of 26. This adjustment would set things up for the new fiscal year to begin on July 1st, 2026. Now, moving on to some of our expenditure reduction considerations. This table outlines some additional expense reductions considerations for the upcoming fiscal year. First, moving software licenses to capital projects could save the district about $1.5 million. Next is a reduction of $400,000 in property insurance costs. And by not expensing workers' compensation next year, we could save $245,000. The workers' compensation fund has a healthy fund balance, which makes this adjustment possible. Together, these measures are expected to reduce expenses by about $8.4 million. The bulk of that coming from the change in fiscal year. These reductions give us a significant opportunity to manage and reduce costs, all while still maintaining essential services. There are several additional expenditure reductions considerations that are still underway. One of these is the high school master schedule evaluation, which aims to identify any efficiencies we can make in the high school schedule. We've already completed the campus staffing meetings, and we're now reviewing the results. We'll have more details on this in the next budget update. We're also doing department staffing reviews, focusing on areas where we can optimize staffing. Along with that, we're analyzing department budgets to find additional opportunities for reduction. Finally, we're also reviewing the potential increase in staff compensation, which could lead to an increase in expenses. So this table shows two different budget scenarios for the upcoming fiscal year. It's the two scenarios with the different basic allotments that were discussed earlier. The scenario one is based on current funding formula with the basic allotment set at $6,160. This brings total available revenues to $118 million, while expenditures are $130.6 million, resulting in a projected deficit of $12.6 million before any budget reductions. This was the same budget projected at during the last presentation during last board meeting. After considering $8.4 million in potential budget cuts, the revised projected deficit would drop to $4.2 million, and this is not accounting for any potential pay increases. Scenario 2 is based on the provisions from Senate Bill 2, where the basic allotment increases to $6,380. This would bring total available revenues to $121.3 million, but with the same expenditures of $130.6 million, leading to a projected deficit of $9.3 million before reductions. After factoring in the same $8.4 million in budget reductions, the projected deficit would drop to $900,000. Still, this is before considering any potential pay increases. As we continue to work through these adjustments, we'll be sure to keep you updated with the latest information. Here is the budget planning calendar for the next step, so you can see the timeline for what's coming up. And that concludes my presentation.
So, I guess, are we fairly confident that we could potentially hit that July 1st?
Yes, that will give us a whole year to plan for that, because it will be for the next year. This year, we will work towards reducing the $5 million that we anticipate we can reduce, and those are the expenses that we typically expense out of everything that's not salaries in July and August. So I'm confident that we can hit the $5 million in the change in fiscal year.
So how close do we get with how confident are we with our estimates of property values? We usually can't imagine we're extremely surprised by it.
No.
We have confidence in that.
So we will have, actually, there will be a meeting on April 30th to give us the first estimate on our property values. And that, put it into our template, it will give us a better projection as far as how much we think we're going to collect in taxes.
And as you know, our staff comes back in the middle of August, and their budgets aren't released until September 1, which is always a frustration and challenge, too. So they would love to be able to have access to their budgets when they come back to school.
It also makes an easier transition for the business department, because we are opening a new budget when most people are not back. So it's a lot easier for us to make that transition as opposed to doing it at the beginning of September when everybody is anxiously waiting for us to open that budget and start purchasing. That way, the campuses will have everything they need to start the school year.
Are most districts on the July 1st?
About 350 districts are July 1st.
We do see more considering it as a, because you do get a one-time cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do get a one-time,
Yes.
cost benefit from it, so we see more and more.
2 months of
Yeah,
the year.
yeah, moving up every year. We do see more, districts like us are considering it because of the one-time payment.
As far as the budget adoption process, it will change. Again, we work with estimates because we don't have our certified values through July. So, having worked in a July 1st district, it is a little odd that first year, and then at least for myself, I saw the benefits after being there for a year. It's just so out of what we're used to always running, or where we have the budget and normal budget adoption process. You adopt your budget in August and your tax rate at the same time. Well, with this accelerated timeline, you would adopt your budget, because by law you have to adopt your budget before you do your tax rate. So you adopt your budget in June, but you don't adopt your tax rate, because we can't adopt our tax rate until TEA lets us know that we can, and that doesn't happen until August. So our tax rate will be adopted either in the August board meeting or the September board meeting. The deadline for TEA is September 30th. We need to adopt a tax rate by then. That gives us plenty of time to go back and revise our revenues, just in case there are some changes. A lot of the times or at least what I saw in other districts has been that really is not necessarily that you are decreasing revenues, is that you may be shifting. Because remember, if we collect more taxes and we get less state revenue, we would get more state revenue. They have this inverse relationship. So if one increases, the other one decreases. So if we were to our projections for our property, for our certified values would be more or less, and we collect either more or less taxes, then we would be able to adjust that either more or less in state aid and kind of offset each other and balance. If that makes sense.
Questions from the audience? All right, thank you, Rudy.
Thank you.
Bond planning construction update.
Good evening. The following is in accordance with Board Policy CV Local. It is my pleasure to present the planning and construction update for the 2019 bond program.
While you're waiting, I want to thank you and Mr. Berger for all your efforts today with the utility issue we had at 3 of our facilities. Yeah, I know those are day killers there. You have to drop everything you had planned that day. And
Yeah, that was a significant outage, but got it done.
Yeah.
You got the AC working wonderful.
Victim of the power outage.
Yeah, I shared it with him. But I'll do it again, it's not a big deal.
Working tomorrow?
Mr. Dunn's got his up, he's
It's a
ready.
little ironic in this technology. Their presentation to work.
Let me move it.
So we are now at 91.8% complete or in progress. That includes the carryover from the 2014 funds that weren't utilized. Starting with the Brazosport pool replacement, I've got several drone photos in here. These are from Friday of this past week. We're wrapping up with rebar for the pool walls, and we're planning to start shooting shotcrete Monday or Tuesday of next week, and that will take 3 to 4 days. Just several different angles here. These guys are doing a great job. I think I've never seen rebar installed that is this complex as fast as they are doing it. And then this is standing just outside the walls, looking down at the rebar into the pool bottom. We poured the pool bottom on Tuesday of spring break. That went really well. Oh, and then something else. The center bulkhead, that'll be also, excuse me, installed with shotcrete. It's solid concrete that divides the shallow pool from the deep end competitive side of the pool. This is a rendering that we've shared before of the pool deck. And another one from the opposite corner. And this is just a site plan graphic. Kind of shows you the orientation of the pool in relation to the other facilities on the property, and this is just showing the layout of the pool and the equipment building and the diving boards. This is kind of a traffic flow plan for the bus parking. We're adding some concrete to get some pull-through spaces for the buses in the Child Nutrition Maintenance and Transportation Renovation Project. We had our final design meeting last Thursday, and this is a drawing that was shared or presented by BLK to show the floor finishes that they're proposing, and that is also the up-to-date floor plan that we're moving forward with. These are renderings that they developed and shared with us on Thursday. It shows you the metal panel colors that we're planning to move forward with. The signage on the building isn't finalized yet. This is just a good representation of what the facility will turn out looking like. Another view from the maintenance side. This is looking on the child nutrition corner of the building. This is looking at the bus barn, kind of in the back corner of the property there, and then at the fueling station and other side of the bus barn. This is just a timeline for that project. The only thing that's changed is that we're going to the, we're presenting the GMP in the May board meeting instead of the April board meeting. And construction will start immediately with a anticipated completion date of August of 26th. And then the Rasco stacking lanes, we wrapped up design on that. It's going out to bid in the next few weeks, and it will also, the GMP will go to the April board meeting with construction starting after school lets out and completing at the end of summer. This is just an aerial, a site plan with an overlay, an aerial image with the site plan overlaid on top. So you can see a new tie-in with the city road. It's a double stacking lane, and then it merges to a single lane, and the pickup drop-off is on the bottom end of the campus there. This is some images of the bleacher replacement, at Brazosport in the competition gym. We anticipate them completing the new bleacher installation by the end of next week. Just a photo of the other side. And then they had some vinyl graphics to complete. That was done as soon as the old bleachers were removed so they could get a lift to access that top right corner. And the work for plumbing replacement at Velasco, it has gone very well. All the plumbing has been replaced that we had problems with. We're covering it all up. The last restroom was inspected by me on Friday. They covered that up today. All the CMU or block work, masonry work has been completed. We've started painting. The kitchen was the bulk area of mess. And that's just a single staff restroom. These are some of the group restrooms. We got drywall covering them up, paint started. That was the last restroom they started covering today. And then the overlay roofing system started on Wednesday of last week, and this image, or these images were taken on Friday. It's going very, very quickly. They're telling me 6 weeks, but a lot of that is the metal work that is a little more complex. And that is all I have. Any questions? Sorry, I'm super congested right now.
Any questions? Anybody in the audience? All right, thanks, Taylor.
Thank you very much.
Our next item is board committee reports. I will say that the Education Foundation Cash Caravan was a success. Teachers were excited, the kids were excited. I think 70,000 plus was given straight to the teachers for them, which is a big thing. Also, I think a big kudos go to the chef, and I can't ever say her last name right, at Brazosport. Mahalik. I can say that. Anyway, her cooking team won first place at the ABC cook-off last week, a week before last spring break. They they really won, and somebody said no, they didn't, and they re-added, and they really did. So that's pretty good for about 5 or 6 high school kids to go win a barbecue cook-off and do a great job. And they're getting ready for their state competition first week in May. Chef, by the way, did receive one of the grants for a new barbecue trailer for the kids, and so it's just going to be a big thing there. All right. Our next work session discussion, our next regular board meeting is scheduled for April 28, 2025 at 6 p.m. At this time, next on the agenda is the executive session. Executive session may be called for the purposes permitted by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.001 through 551.146. Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Section 551.7.72, for the purpose of discussing the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Section 551.074, personnel matters, including employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, dismissal, complaint. 551.04, superintendent mid-year review. 551.076, intruder detection audit report finding for Brazosport ISD. Section 551.082, for the purpose of considering discipline of a public school child or complaint or charge against personnel. We will return shortly.
I've got, 8:25.
We will reenter.
I'm coming in shooting.
We will reconvene into open session. At this time, we have an action item to discuss the superintendent's contract extension. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Reinhardt, I'd like to make a motion to extend the BISD superintendent contract another year through 2027, 2028.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I second.
You made that motion?
Yes.
We have a motion, we have a second, to approve. Is there any discussion amongst the, board at this time? Having none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Let's go.
Ms. Cuellar, has a motion.
I'll say that.
And Mr. Schulte?
I'll take that away from him. We need to get over the